Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got a real fun one today. We'll learn how to do Fat Lip by Sum 41. So this one is got some kind of challenging kind of downstroke rhythm parts. But other than that, it's not that difficult to play. There's no crazy solos or anything in it. So we're going to do the whole thing front to back, back to front, whatever. All right, before I do though, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring the notification bell so you don't always see a new video. And if you like what I do here on YouTube and you want to support it, anything I do with the song lessons or whatever, the best way to do it is actually join my Guitar Academy. You'll see a link to my Guitar Academy in the description below. That'll give you a free 7-day trial, by the way, too. And what my Guitar Academy is about is just, it's a collection of all my guitar courses. So you get full access to all my guitar courses. There's courses in there for complete beginners. There's more advanced courses in technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone, you name it. And you also get personalized support from me. So please go check out my Guitar Academy. I'd really appreciate it. All right, so let's jump into this track. I am in dropped D tuning. So you just take the low E string, take it down to a D. And then you'll be ready to go. All right, so now in the intro here, we have this main little riff that goes on, this little single note thing. So it does that a little bit, and it continues that when the kind of rhythm guitar part comes in too. So let me show you the little riff first. So we have this. So what I'm doing here, you're gonna palm mute this. You might use a little less distortion than I am. Maybe kick in a bigger sound when the song kicks in. But we have 7, 8, 9 on the low E string. I know it's actually a low D string now because we're tuned down to D. So we have 7, 8, 9. And then you're gonna go over here and grab the 6th fret on the D string. And you let that note ring. So we have this. Then we do that 7, 8, 9 again, palm muted. And then the next note you're gonna play is gonna be the 9th fret there on the A. So I'm playing that with my pinky. So we have this. Then that 7, 8, 9 muted again. Back to the first note that we did, the first ending, I guess, which is that 6th fret on the D that you're gonna let ring. So we have this so far. And then the 4th time through, we're gonna have a different ending once again. We're gonna start with that same 7, 8, 9, which starts at each time. That little palm muted 7, 8, 9 on the low D. And then the ending here is going to be that you're going to play 9 and 7 on the A. So all together. So a little bit of speed. And just repeat that. Now here, after you've done that riff twice, we have this rhythm guitar part comes in, but as we continue to do that riff on top of it. All right, so what is that rhythm guitar part? It's a little bit easier. It looks like this. So you're hitting the bottom 3 strings open. So we get that, forms an open D power chord. So you hit those open first. And then what you're gonna do is hammer on at the 2nd fret across those 3 strings. Which makes it an E power chord. And then you hit it a couple times after you do the hammer on. Then you gotta do that again. So if you do the hammer on, hit it once there on those 2s, and then the last hit, instead of being basically 2 hits here, it goes like this. the last hit is actually this A power chord, which is the open A string and the second fret on the D and the G. So we have this. And then we get to the verse sections. Now the verse section, the second time through, there's a little second guitar part that's added there, and I'll talk about that. It creates a quick little harmony. Probably the best way to do it is you just play through the normal way the first time through, and then the second time through, just do the harmony part, because you actually hear that a little bit louder on the recording. So doing it that way will look like this. Into the pre-chorus there. So we're going to start with that power chord there across the bottom 3 strings at the 2nd fret, this E power chord. And then you're going to jump up here and grab an octave shape. So it's the 7th fret on the A string, and then the 9th fret there on the G. So if you don't know octaves too well, you just got to make sure you're playing that note on the 7th fret, the A, and then the 9th fret on the G. They're an octave apart, the same note an octave apart. Key here is to mute all the other strings around it. So you can see how my index finger is touching that 6th string there, the bottom of it, just touching the bottom of it to keep it from ringing out. And then the middle string, the string in between it, that D, is being muted by the pad on my index finger. So it's just holding that note there. It's kind of muting a bunch of strings. It's basically muting all the strings. So all you hear, I can strum all 6 strings, is those 2 that I want you to be heard, and all the other ones are being muted by this index finger. All right, a little bit of octave lesson. So we have this. So you go up and play this octave here at the 7th fret on the A string with the 9th fret on the G, and take that, slide it down a fret, so both notes down a fret, and then back up to the 7th. So we have this. So just pick the first one, slide, and slide back up. And then you're going to play the 9th fret across the bottom 3 strings. Just B power chord. And then you go down to this A power chord, to the 7th fret. You're going to hit that a couple times there on the bottom 3 strings. So we have this. Then you do the same thing, the same octave thing we did before. And then you have this little ending to the riff, which is just 7, 6, 4 on that bottom string, and then you start over. So we had this so far. Now, he repeats that exact same thing, so that same riff is going on again, so it actually happens twice. But the second time through, there's a harmony part added on top of it. So that harmony part actually looks like this. So that just comes through the second time through. So it's the same chord that starts. Now I do that octave shape, but it's up here at the 11th fret on the A, 13th on the G. You pick that, slide down to 9, so this slides down to 11 on the G, and then back up to the 11th fret. So down 2 frets, and back up. And then you come down to the 9th fret and hit that octave a couple times there. So this. And then the rest of the riff is the same. You hit that A power chord. Like that. So all together for the harmony part again. So first time through, I'm going to play just the normal underlying one, and then the second time through, the harmony part, which is probably the way you're going to want to do it to make it sound closest to the recording. So it's like this. All right, now from there, we're going to have the pre-chorus, which looks like this. All right, so this is got some fast downstroke stuff going, but let's look at the chords first. So we're going to start with that E power chord again. That's the second fret across the low 3 strings. All right, then we're going to take it here to the 4th fret on the A, 6th fret on the D and the G. So that C sharp power chord. And then we have the open A power chord, which is the one we did before, open A, second on the D and the G. Now when he comes back around, so it's just these 3 chords. When he comes back around, he just doesn't do that like this. You can hear the 3rd being added to the chord. So we have that going on. So that's the 2nd fret still across the bottom 3 strings. But add that 1st fret there on the G. And then to the same 3 chords from there. So we have this all together. I guess that A kind of just starts opening up. You get like a pick scrape overdub and stuff. But do whatever you want there. So the rhythm there. So I'm heavily palm muted. So it kind of starts with 2 hits on the low E string, then hit the power chord. And when you do that hit the power chord, that's not palm muted, so it's just real quick. So when you hit that power chord, just let it up real quick, and then you come back down. There's 3 more hits. And then from there, it's pretty much 3 hits. So kind of this. So it's kind of the same kind of basic rhythm style on all those. But it's just kind of, these 2 are held, half as long. So it is. All right, now from there we go to the chorus, which has Derek basically playing just the power chords to it, and then we have Dave doing octaves on top of it. So let's look at Derek's part first. Looks like this. All right, so that's going to start with this E power chord up here. Here at the 7th fret. So we have the 7th fret of the A, 9th on the D and the G. Take that chord shape down to the 2nd fret, and then move it up to the 4th fret. Now when you get to that note on the 4th fret, you're going to make it a full C sharp minor chord by adding the 5th fret there on the B string. No bars or anything, just show you this. All right, and then we go over here to the 6th fret on the low the low D. So basically the bottom 3 strings again, this power chord shape across the 6th fret. And then move it up to the 7th fret. You can move it up like that. I like to just use my middle finger now across those 3 strings at the 7th fret. So we have this. So it kind of goes back and forth between the 2 twice. So we have this. Now the second time through, he kind of repeats the same chords again, but at least when I first hear the chorus, in the first instance of the chorus, it sounds like he then goes, instead of playing this higher voicing of E, he goes the second time through, he goes down to the lower voicing of E. So kind of like this. Right here. So it's kind of how I'm hearing it in that first chorus. So it's basically just the first chord instead of being here at the 7th fret there, it's that chord at the 2nd fret across the low bottom 3 strings. And then everything else is the same from there. So all together here. All right, now we have this octave part that goes on that Dave's playing on top of it, and it looks like the here we go. All right, so that's going to be more octaves here like we did earlier, so we won't do an octave lesson here. But it's the octave, I'm going to call it the note that's at that the index finger's holding. So the fret that the index finger is playing on is that it's still on the A string, so it's the same strings the octaves were before. The 11th fret there on the A, so that octave shape. That has that 13 on the G. So we're just going to move that down to 9 and 7. So 11, 9, 7, then 6, 7, 6, 7. So we have this. And then you do that octave melody again, a little bit different ending. This ending, instead of going 6, 7, 6, 7, it's going to go 6, 7, 9, back to 7. So that's whenever the last time of playing the riff in the chorus, he's going to play the octave like that. It's kind of just the end in the chorus. So you got to keep that in mind later on in the song where the chorus is played twice as long. So in this first chorus, it's just played, basically the riff is just played through twice. Like the second time through. That different ending there. Later on, you're going to hear the chorus is longer, and it's like played 4 times through. So he's going to do this version the first 3 times. Like that. So he'll keep doing that. So it's 3rd time, same. And then the ending. So that little ending is only when he's ending the chorus is when he played that. The other melody is going to be played all other times. All right, so that is it for the chorus. Then we go back to the riff that basically is the intro. So that comes back in. We've already learned that. Same verse, same pre-chorus, and same chorus again. Then we get to this, I just call it kind of like the groove section. It looks like this. So it gets kind of chugging, it's still doing the rhythm on the E power chord on across the 2nd fret of the bottom 3 strings. So there's some muted hits in between those. So it's kind of just, I just kind of add as many muted hits really. Kind of sounds good to kind of put them everywhere. So we just add that. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, just on that bottom chord. And then we do kind of start the same rhythm. So that last one hit is going to be on that A power chord. So this. I'm obviously kind of eliminating the muted hits here in between so we can just focus on the hits. Then you kind of start again. So that's basically the way we did it the first time through, and then just going to end it with 1, 2, going into the clean bridge. So basically you're doing that rhythm. It's parts like this, especially when you're just mostly on one chord, except for that one time they hit that A power chord. It's good just to know the sound of the song. start analyzing how many hits. Just memorize the sound of the song. It's going to be easier, just like you're humming a melody, really. And then you can just kind of add those muted hits in between. Kind of add some bigger hits in there. Just have fun with it. All right, then we get to the clean section. And we have two different clean parts going on here. One starts it, and it continues for the whole clean section, and then you hear another clean part that comes in on top of it, just overdubbed on top of it. Live, Dave plays this part, and he'll play that part like 2 times through, and then he just skips to the. So that's probably the way you're going to want to do it if you have one guitar player or whatever that's only playing at once. But that first thing you hear does continue for the whole thing, even under this. So if you have 2 guitar players, that'd be great too. So what's this first part look like? So it looks like this. So just kind of repeat that. So it starts up here with this E power chord. So this is the 7th fret on the A, 9th on the D, 9th on the G. So I'm going to pick the A string, D string, G string, then back to the D. Then take the note on the A string and move it down 1 fret. So then you do the same picking pattern for that. Then it kind of slides down into the 4th fret there on the A string. And you're going to play 4th fret on the A, 6th fret there on the D, 5th fret on the B string. So you're going to this time, so you have to pick the A string, the D string, the B string, and then back to that D. So we have this. All right, from here, we just play the open A string, then the 2nd fret there on the D, and then back to the open A. The rhythm is different there too. It comes in on the upbeat, so this. So there's kind of basically the first group of 4. First note of the 4-note pattern is there's a rest there, so it's just up. And then you just repeat that. So after 2 times, we have this that joins it. So that's going to be the open high E string, followed by the open B string. Do that a couple times. Then just place the 2nd fret there on the high E string and continue the same picking pattern where you're picking the high E and the B, open B. So this. Then back to the kind of the open high E to the open B again. And then at the end here, you're going to pick the open B, hammer on 2. Then pick the open high E, pick that 2nd fret again on the B string, and pull off to the open. And just repeat that. All right, now kind of over that last, you start hearing them kind of come in with the big, the heavy part of the bridge. So I think we're still in the bridge here, and there's just kind of a heavy section where all the rap stuff's going on. So anyway, how to play this? This one's got to kind of mix up the rhythms a little bit here. Looks like this. chorus. All right, so it's kind of the same riff that we start with. So it's kind of like the intro riff, the rhythm guitar part to the intro. So you play that riff twice. And there's a little pause there. And then we come back in with that riff. So we have this. So basically there, after that little pause, so you do the riff twice. Little pause there, and then come back in. Do that riff once now. And then we act like they act like they're going to kind of start repeating the same riff again, which they start the same way. So right there, they do the riff, and then they just hammer on, instead of going this, right there, they go like this. And they just kind of stop on that F sharp. It's not an F sharp anymore, it's a E power chord. Like that. And then they do it again. The same little thing right there. So we have this. And then you continue the riff like before. So there they finally get to the ending. So basically, instead of going, they basically threw this in it, in the middle of it like this. And then did the ending. So if you want to look at it that way, once again, it's kind of basic what's going on down here, but you have to know the sound of it. If you know the song well, you'll probably be able to follow it, the changes there pretty easy, because it's just really 3 chords going on there. And then they kind of do the riff again. And they just kind of pause, stop right there, and you hear the stuff kind of echoing out. And then we have this. So that's just kind of hitting, kind of when it comes back in, you kind of slide down and start chugging on the bottom 3 strings open. And then kind of add this D chord above it. So we have this, as it continues to build and they start opening up without so much muting, add the 5th fret there on the A, 7th on the D, 7th on the G. So with this. All right, then we get to the chorus. Now this is when the chorus is longer. So this, like I talked about, we'll play this riff 4 times. You can always use this higher one if you like that lower F sharp. I think it probably mixes it up live anyway. And remember how I was talking about how the octaves work in that extended chorus. That octave to the last time through the chorus is always different. So you gotta, we talked about that earlier, so no big deal. All right, then we get to the end of the song, which is basically like the intro riff again, with a quick little ending on it. It looks like this. So it's the same riff, but we're just going to end it with that E power chord here at the 2nd fret across the bottom 3 strings. Hit twice, then twice one more time. Play this. Twice one more time. That's a tongue twister, isn't it? So we have this. All right, just hit it twice. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's really fun to play, like a lot of Sum 41 stuff is too. And they're actually, some of it's pretty challenging stuff. I know there's no crazy solos in this, but Dave's actually a really good guitar player, so there's a lot of their songs have some really challenging stuff. And Derek's a great rhythm guitar player too. He does a lot of really fast rhythm stuff, as you can see in this song. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.